I'm Dalton Barrett for News Radio WGNS, and here's some of the top stories impacting Rutherford County on your Rutherford Roundup for Tuesday, March the 31st, 2026. Rutherford County school leaders are facing a major financial challenge with nearly $500 million in facility needs tied to aging buildings across the district. Officials say deferred maintenance totals around $492 million, with heating and air systems alone accounting for roughly $325 million of that cost. Many of those HVAC systems, some dating back to the 1990s, are becoming increasingly expensive to maintain, with crews relying on outdated refrigerants and temporary fixes just to keep classrooms operational. While the district estimates it would take more than $150 million to immediately address the most urgent concerns, only about $19 million is available annually, forcing leaders to prioritize critical repairs, affecting students across the county. Meanwhile, attention is also turning to the historic Rutherford County Courthouse, where an emergency meeting could determine the future of Library Director Luann James. The Rutherford County Library Board is considering possible disciplinary action, including termination, after James declined to relocate nearly 200 books from the children's section to the adult section. She argues the move raises First Amendment concerns and could limit access for families. The dispute has drawn strong reactions from community members, with advocacy groups planning to attend and speak during public comments. A new study is highlighting how rapid growth across Rutherford County is reshaping the housing landscape in Middle Tennessee, even as affordability challenges continue nationwide. Across the U.S., home prices have climbed more than 20% since 2020, while higher mortgage rates and inflation have made it harder for many home buyers to enter the market. But in contrast to older housing markets, the Nashville, Murfreesboro, Franklin metro area stands out with a much newer housing supply, driven by sustained development and population growth. That trend is clearly visible in Murfreesboro and Smyrna, where continued expansion has kept new construction moving forward. In fact, the median home age in the region is just 28 years, significantly younger than the national average, reflecting decades of steady building tied to population increases in Rutherford County. That growth dates back to the rise of major employers like the Nissan plant in Smyrna and has accelerated in recent years, with the county's population now approaching 400,000 and expected to climb even higher in the coming decade. As development continues, Murfreesboro leaders are also tracking building activity and infrastructure needs. New dwelling permits are on the rise in early 2026, supported in part by large-scale apartment projects, while impact fees tied to construction are helping fund roads, schools, and public safety. Even so, officials say the challenge remains balancing rapid growth with housing affordability, as strong demand continues to push prices higher across Rutherford County. A wave of expansion from Buc-ee's is drawing attention nationwide, with new locations opening across multiple states and more on the way. While Ohio prepares to welcome its first travel center in early April, Tennessee remains part of the company's continued growth plan, including a future location in Murfreesboro. Local leaders say the project reflects ongoing development across Rutherford County, where population growth and increased traffic along major corridors continue to attract large-scale commercial investments. That same growth, however, comes as Middle Tennessee faces a very different challenge: a growing lack of rainfall. Across Rutherford County, including Murfreesboro, Smyrna, and Laverne, conditions have turned increasingly dry in what is typically the wettest time of the year. More than 85% of Tennessee is now experiencing abnormally dry or drought conditions, with Middle Tennessee classified under a moderate drought. Experts say that the lack of rain is already having impacts, from drying agricultural ponds to increasing fire risk and reducing crop yields. While Murfreesboro has seen slightly better rainfall totals than other parts of the region, deficits still remain, and looking ahead at extended forecast doesn't show much relief. Conditions are expected to remain a concern in the coming weeks, as forecasts call for continued below-average rainfall across Middle Tennessee. In Rutherford County, officials are encouraging residents to be mindful of water usage, while also keeping an eye on fire safety as dry conditions persist. Without significant rainfall, drought impacts could intensify heading further into the spring season. That's all for now. For updates on these, as well as many more local news stories, be sure to check out our website, wgnsradio.com, or follow us on social media at News Radio WGNS on Facebook as well as X. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to leave a rating or a review on Spotify and iTunes, a comment on YouTube, or share it with a friend. I'm Dalton Barrett for News Radio WGNS, part of your Good Neighbor Network, and I'll talk to you later.